To have you with us. This is Kevin Harlan with Clark Kellogg and Steve Kerr. Earlier this season, it was Chicago who came out on top in the last meeting against the Brooklyn Nets. Right now, they're in charge of the season series up 2-0, looking to go for 3.
And I thought, guys, they were the beneficiary of what was some lackluster defense being played against them.
I agree with you. I mean, it was really shocking how many free runs to the hoop they got.
All fueled up and ready to go. Brought to you by Gatorade. Let's check out who's on the floor. Setting the floor for the Nets. They've got Clarkson, Plumlee out there with Jared Sullinger. Then it's Damari Carroll, and it's Johnson in at the 2-guard position.
You know, something we're seeing less and less of these days, that little finger roll.
Here's Clarkson. To the inside, stolen by Noah. Inside, here's Butler, and he uses both hands to jam it in.
Guys, that's simply superb. Ball pressure, a run out, and then a dunk in transition.
Exactly, Clark, what they wanted, the aggressive defense to lead to.
Yeah, points in transition.
Yeah, that's why you want to make the other team feel uncomfortable handling the ball, because you can get easy points out of it at the other end.
Here's Clarkson, the Bulls getting the bucket, and misses it off the right side of the rim. About a minute played so far here in the first. Here's Mr. Moves. He's guarded by Johnson. And it's Butler missing. On defense, the Bulls, they are coming into this having notched a win against the Knicks in their last game.
That was a heck of a performance for them offensively. There were some stretches there where it just seemed like everything was falling for them.
And it wasn't by accident they shot it that well. Their ball movement was excellent. That was the key to me.
And the basket good.
It's a great play under the boards for him, and you know, that's the standard that he sets. It seems like all those second chance points, I mean, they're there for him game in, game out.
Here's Mr. Moves. Last time, 45 points for him. Shot clock at 5. Another one falls for Chicago.
Offensively, he can be the engine that drives them at any given time.
And so it's Brooklyn with it, trailing by 4. They're moving on after the tough loss they took at the hands of the Blazers.
Well, there's no doubt they played well enough to win that game. It truly could have gone either way, Clark.
Well, the lesson in this one is you can't just play well for 3.5 quarters and expect to win. I mean, they didn't close it out the way they should have. That's on them.
Now here's Plumlee. He had a 15-point outing in their last game against Portland.
Maybe they're still working out the kinks defensively, because that was a blatant mistake.
For Chicago, they've gone 3 of 4 from the field to start out the game. Mr. Moves offline with his 3. For Brooklyn, they've gone 2 for 4 from the field so far today. Johnson wide open. He fires. Again, the miss by Johnson. Feeds it to Noah. Bulls moving the ball around. Outside Butler. 6 to shoot. Here's Mr. Moves. Plays it up and in on the nice reverse. Mr. Moves got his second basket of the night.
Looked like he may have been showboating a little bit at the end of that one.
Sullinger the screen. Here's Clarkson. Battles through traffic and lays it in. Clarkson's got his second basket.
Really tough to get that shot off with the size differential there. It's not an individual matchup he's going to win every time, especially in the post.
Very well done. I didn't think he had any business operating down there with the big fellas.
Now here's Gasol. He's been patient so far, nothing yet on the scoreboard. And here in the first quarter, with a little over 3.5 minutes played, we'll go to Doris Burke, who moments ago spoke with head coach Flip Saunders. And Doris, what do you have to say?
One player he doesn't want to overlook is Pau Gasol. He said Pau has that hook shot that is nearly impossible to guard, and that most of their defense on Pau will be centered around denying him the ball and forcing him to catch it away from the basket. We'll see if they can execute that plan, guys.
And as always, Doris, thank you. Here's Carroll, right now averaging 7 points a game. At the top of the key, Spades. It's tipped. 4 on the clock. Here's Clarkson. Another shot, and that's 2 points on the layup. Lopez has got his first bucket in this one.
If you battle for the offensive rebound and come up with it, you're guaranteed a high-quality shot on a follow just like he got there.
Mr. Moves passes to Butler. There's a minute 40 left here in the first quarter. Chicago needs to get off a shot here from deep. Rose, and he gets the bucket. Rose has got his first 3 points of the game.
A good open look, and he splashes home the 3.
Nets trail by 5. Spates sets a screen. Into Brook Lopez. Takes a shot at the elbow. Rebound by Butler. Chicago's gone 1 of 3 from beyond the arc so far in the game. Rose dishes to Butler. Here's Gibson. Back to Butler. Kicks to Gibson. Oh, that's blocked. And they'll keep possession. They get it back. Bulls shooting their initial free throws of the game right here.
Well, how about the numbers for this club? As a team, 79% from the free throw line this year.
Really, guys, it's just come together for them at the charity stripe this season. I mean,
Nice shooting.
Deciding to change it up. Nets trail by 9, and Brooklyn looking who they've got. Jared Sullinger is out there with Plumlee. Then there's Johnson, and it's Rowe in at the center position. 2 minutes now played in the second quarter. Bulls have gotten off to a rough start here in the second quarter, going just 1 for 5. Mr. Moves passes to Bairstow. The pass to Aguilar. Clock at 6. Good work defensively by Johnson.
Well, the effort was there, but he just couldn't quite fight his way through traffic.
And for those of you just joining us, we're almost 2.5 minutes into the second quarter. Out of bounds, next ball as Brooklyn keeps possession. Well, some very valuable players right here. Big men who can create turnovers for their teammates inside. These are the power forwards and centers with the most assists in the past month. Number 1, Jared Sullinger.
Well, I don't care what level you're talking about, high school, college, the pros. When you have the combination of size and passing skill that he does, what a huge advantage.
And more than anything, I like the fact he's a master of the kick-out pass. He's got a great awareness of when one of his teammates gets open on the perimeter, and he's a willing passer in that situation.
So it's Brooklyn now after the made shot for Mr. Moves. Down low, dishes it to Plumlee. The Bulls leading by 9. Here's Mr. Moves. He's got 8.
Boy, but he was close, Kevin, to making the defense pay for lackadaisical coverage there.
Yeah, he had a really good look. I mean, he'll knock that down more often than not.
So it's Brooklyn now. Their defense has only allowed 4 points in the quarter. Nice ball movement by Brooklyn. And that one's good.
Really aggressive play, taking it to the rim against the big man.
Tell you what, I love that fearless attitude.
The Bulls have gone just 2 of 8 shooting here in the second quarter. Noah the screen. Here's Mr. Moves. And a big bounce off the rim, but it sinks right in. Mr. Moves got the lead up to 9 now for the Bulls. Burnett shooting a mediocre 41% in this one. And let's now go to the sideline. We'll catch up here with Doris Burke. Doris?
Hey, Kevin, Mr. Moves in that last game against the Knicks was just a man on a mission. He finished with 45 points, and he got there with his usual way. Just an impressive barrage of threes. Absolutely incredible numbers from him in a monstrous game.
Appreciate it, Doris. Thanks. Well, we've seen a lot of great players have a lot of great games, but that Clark was something special.
Kevin, it really was. I mean, they threw everything but the kitchen sink at him, and nothing slowed him down.
But let's just say he was really good.
1:25 left in the first half. Sullinger the screen. Inside, 40. Tries again, and the shot is good. The Chicago lead has been cut down to just 8 points with the bucket from Sullinger.
They've got to continue to put pressure on the defense by probing inside. That's what's really working for them.
And when you're doing the job they are inside, it takes pressure off the perimeter guys.
Here's Mr. Moves. 13 points in the game, and it's out of bounds. The Nets will take it the other way.
I tell you what, that's just a major unforced error right there, guys. My goodness.
So it's both teams making substitutions here. Spates sets a screen. Clarkson kicks to Spates. Pass to Johnson. Here's the dish to Spates. Here's Mr. Moves. He feeds it to Butler. Pass to Gasol. And stolen by Spates.
And a 2-for-1 opportunity.
Yeah, they've got to hurry. Step on the gas here.
Clarkson kicks to Lopez. Tipped away. It's stolen by Rose. Butler goes in. And it's Rose. This time the assist by Butler. And it's 8 points for Rose.
Boy, such outstanding patience and decision-making for them offensively.
Yeah, absolutely. Their ball movement has been outstanding. They are piling up the assist. That was not pretty there. You got to make that one, but maybe that's not his range.
Here's Mr. Moves. And again, it's the Bulls from deep.
Got a lot of momentum going with his own game. He's been great today, and just as hot as he was last time out.
Here's Johnson. Cannot hit. And that does it for the first half of play. Bulls lead by 13. And we'll see you back here after the break for third quarter basketball.
Okay, guys, solid play.